Arjun was a 21-year-old young man who lived in a small village surrounded by fields of wheat and narrow dirt roads. Life in the village was simple, predictable, and slow. But inside Arjun's heart, everything felt restless, impatient, and stuck. He watched videos of successful people online. He saw young entrepreneurs building empires. He heard stories of overnight success. And every night, Arjun lay in bed dreaming of the day when his life would suddenly change, when success would find him, when everything would finally click into place. Every morning, when the sun painted the village in golden light, Arjun woke up with big plans. He promised himself he would start today. He would work hard. He would change everything. Yet by afternoon, nothing had changed. He scrolled through his phone. He compared himself to others. He felt smaller and smaller. His cousin had started a business. His neighbor's son had cleared a big exam. His childhood friend had moved to the city. But Arjun felt frozen in the same place, watching others rise while he remained exactly where he had always been. People in the village often said, "Arjun is a smart boy, but he wants everything without working for anything." And Arjun knew it was true, though it hurt to hear. One afternoon, after scrolling for hours and feeling more discouraged than ever, Arjun sat under an old peepal tree at the edge of the village. He stared at his phone, then at his empty hands, and whispered to himself, "Why can't I be like them? Why can't success come to me? Why am I still stuck here?" While he sat in frustration, he heard the soft crunch of footsteps on dry leaves. An old man with silver hair and a weathered face stood beside him, leaning on a walking stick. Everyone in the village called him Dada Mohan, the man who had built the village school with his own hands decades ago. He was known for his quiet wisdom, his patience, and his ability to see through people's masks. Dada Mohan looked at Arjun and said gently, "Your eyes search the sky for lightning, but you refuse to light a single candle." Arjun looked up with surprise. "Dada, how do you know what I'm thinking?" The old man sat beside him on the ground and replied, "When someone stares at their phone with hungry eyes but tired hands, their struggle speaks louder than their words." Arjun felt something stir inside him. He felt seen. He felt understood. He took a deep breath and said, "Dada, I want to succeed. I want to build something great. But when I look at successful people, they seem so far ahead. They have money, skills, connections. I have nothing. I feel like I need to make a big jump, but I don't know how. Please guide me." Dada Mohan smiled softly. "My son, you believe that success is a big jump. But the truth is different. It is not a jump at all. It is a walk. A very slow walk. And most people fail not because they cannot jump high enough, but because they refuse to take small steps." He picked up a small pebble from the ground and held it in his palm. "This pebble is small. Worthless, you might think. But let me tell you a secret about smallness." He pointed to an old well nearby. "Do you see that well? It took 20 years to fill with water. Not from rivers. Not from storms. From single drops. One drop today. One drop tomorrow. One drop the day after. For 20 years. He placed the pebble in Arjun's hand. "If you improve yourself by just 1% each day, just 1%, nothing more, by the end of 1 year, you will not be 365% better. You will be 37 times better. Because small improvements compound. They multiply. They build on each other like drops filling a well." Arjun stared at the pebble. "But Dada, 1% feels like nothing. How will anyone even notice?" Dada Mohan replied, "That is exactly why it works. No one notices. Not even you. That is its power." Arjun leaned forward with intensity. "Then what should I do? How do I improve by 1% every day?" The old man gazed into the distance and said, "Every evening before the sun sets, practice one simple habit. Do it for only 10 minutes. Sit alone in a quiet place. No phone. No noise. Think about your day and ask yourself 3 questions." He raised 3 fingers. First, what did I do today that made me 1% better? It could be reading 1 page. Learning 1 new word. Doing 10 push-ups. Anything small. Second, what did I avoid today that made me 1% worse? Did I waste time? Did I complain? Did I delay? Third, what will I do tomorrow to stay 1% better? Just one small thing. Write it down. Commit to it. Arjun asked, "But Dada, can something so small really change my life?" This seems too simple. The old man placed his hand on Arjun's shoulder. "My son, this habit is not magic. It is mathematics. When you improve by 1% each day, your mind learns to value progress over perfection. When your mind values progress, your actions become consistent. When your actions become consistent, time becomes your greatest ally. And when time is your ally, there is nothing you cannot build." He added, "Most people want to climb the mountain in one day. They burn out. They give up. But you will climb it one step at a time. And while they rest in frustration, you will keep walking. By the time they look up again, you will already be at the top." That evening, when Arjun returned home, he did exactly what Dada Mohan taught him. He sat on the floor of his small room, opened an old notebook he had never used, and wrote, "Today I read 5 pages of a book. 1% better. Today I wasted 2 hours scrolling. 1% worse. Tomorrow I will read 6 pages and scroll for only 1 hour. That is my 1%. When he closed the notebook, he felt something unexpected. His mind felt clearer. His breathing slowed. And for the first time in months, he did not feel the weight of needing to change everything at once. The next day, Arjun read 6 pages. The day after, he read 7. Some days he missed. But most days, he kept his small promise. After 2 weeks, he had finished his first book in years. After a month, he had started learning a new skill online, just 15 minutes a day. After 3 months, he had built a small habit of waking up 30 minutes earlier. His face began to look different. His eyes carried focus. His steps became purposeful. He stopped comparing himself to others because he was too busy comparing himself to who he was yesterday. People in the village began asking, "What happened to Arjun? He seems different now. More focused. More alive." Arjun simply smiled and said, "I stopped trying to jump to the top. I started climbing 1 step at a time." 6 months later, Arjun returned to the people tree to thank Dada Mohan. But the old man was not there. Some villagers said he had traveled to another town to help someone else. Others said he only appeared when someone truly needed him. But Arjun knew one thing for sure, the lesson Dada Mohan taught him had changed his entire life. 1 year later, Arjun had transformed completely. He had read 24 books. He had learned graphic design. He had started a small freelance business from his village. His income was still modest, but it was growing, 1% at a time. With this new version of himself, he began teaching other young people in his village. He showed them his notebook. He shared his 1% rule. And slowly, a quiet revolution began. Not loud. Not fast. But steady. Unstoppable. The same people who once pitied him now asked him for advice. His transformation proved that you don't need to be extraordinary to achieve extraordinary things. You just need to be 1% better than you were yesterday. Friends, Arjun's story teaches us a truth most people never learn: massive transformation does not come from massive action. It comes from small actions repeated with relentless consistency. Maybe you also want instant success. Maybe you also compare yourself to people 10 steps ahead. But remember, they were once where you are now. And they got there not by jumping, but by walking. One small step. One small improvement. 1% at a time. Your new life does not begin when you make a huge change. It begins the moment you make a small one and refuse to stop. Start today. Improve by 1%. Tomorrow, do it again. And watch how, 1 year from now, you have become someone you barely recognize, 37 times better than the person you are right now. This is Aspire Stories, reminding you, drops fill wells, and small steps climb mountains. Your 1% starts now. If this story made you think, made you feel, or made you believe that change is possible, pass it forward. Share this with one person who needs hope today. Because just like water drops fill wells, your small act of kindness can fill someone's heart. Subscribe to Aspire Stories, where every story plants a seed of transformation.